The route appeared on every map. The problem was that nobody could remember taking it. The bus line had existed for decades. It appeared in transit schedules. It appeared on city maps. It appeared in archived transportation records. Everything suggested it was real. Yet whenever someone tried to find regular passengers, the search led nowhere. People recognized the route number. People recognized the name. People recognized the stops. But very few could confidently say they had actually ridden the bus. At first, that didn't seem unusual. Most cities have forgotten routes. Night buses, industrial shuttles, lines that survive long after their purpose disappears. The mystery began when a local journalist decided to write an article about the city's least used transportation services. The route immediately stood out. Officially, it was still active. According to transportation records, buses continued operating every night. Maintenance logs existed. Fuel records existed. Driver schedules existed. Everything looked normal until the journalist tried to interview passengers. Days passed, then weeks. Nobody came forward. Eventually, he found a man who claimed he had used the route years earlier. The interview lasted less than 15 minutes. But one detail refused to leave the journalist's mind. The man couldn't remember where he had boarded the bus. He couldn't remember where he had exited. He only remembered the ride itself. The bus had been almost empty. The city outside the windows looked unfamiliar, and the trip felt much longer than it should have. The journalist dismissed the story. Memory is unreliable. People exaggerate, especially when discussing events from years ago. Then he found another passenger. This woman described a completely different journey. The bus had been crowded. Every seat was occupied. Nobody spoke. Nobody looked at each other. She remembered feeling uncomfortable the entire time. When she finally stepped off the bus, she discovered she had missed an important family event. Nothing strange about that, except she insisted she had only been riding for a few minutes. Her family claimed she had been gone for several hours. Again, the journalist assumed there was a reasonable explanation, until he found more accounts. None of them matched, yet all of them shared a similar feeling. People remembered the route. People remembered the ride. People struggled to explain what happened afterward. One former passenger described arriving at a neighborhood that no longer seemed familiar. Another claimed the bus passed through parts of the city he had never seen before. A third insisted the route took him past streets that did not appear on any map. The journalist became obsessed. He wanted a simple answer, a scheduling error, a local legend, a misunderstood transit line, anything. Instead, the mystery kept growing. Eventually, he decided to ride the route himself. The bus departed shortly after midnight. At first, everything seemed ordinary. The vehicle looked normal. The driver looked normal. Several passengers sat quietly throughout the cabin. The journey began exactly as expected. For the first 20 minutes, nothing unusual happened. The bus followed familiar streets. The city looked exactly as it always had. Then the route changed. The journalist didn't notice immediately. A turn here, a detour there. Small differences, the kind most passengers would ignore. But eventually he realized he no longer recognized the surroundings. The buildings looked older. The streets seemed unusually empty. Even the street lights appeared different. He checked his phone. No signal. That wasn't impossible. Poor reception exists everywhere. Still, the timing felt strange. The bus continued moving. Nobody seemed concerned. Nobody spoke. Nobody looked outside. The passengers sat motionless beneath the dim interior lights. For the first time, the journalist felt uneasy. He approached the driver. Before he could ask a question, the driver pointed toward the rear of the bus. Without saying a word, the gesture felt oddly deliberate, as if the answer wasn't at the front. It was somewhere behind him. The journalist returned to his seat. He never discovered what the gesture meant. Because moments later, the bus stopped. The doors opened. Several passengers exited. The journalist stepped outside as well. The stop wasn't marked. There was no shelter, no sign, no visible street name. Only darkness and distant lights. He turned around. The bus doors closed. The vehicle pulled away. Within seconds, it disappeared into the night. The journalist expected another bus to arrive. None did. He expected passing traffic. None appeared. The road remained completely empty. After several minutes of walking, he reached a familiar street. Then another. Eventually, he found his way home. The experience bothered him for years. Not because anything dramatic had happened. Nothing had. What disturbed him was how difficult it became to describe the journey. The route, the streets, the stop. Each memory felt incomplete, as though part of the experience had slipped away the moment it ended. He later published his investigation. The article attracted attention. Former passengers contacted him with their own stories. Many contradicted one another. Some accounts sounded impossible. Others sounded perfectly ordinary. No explanation connected them all. That remains true today. The route still appears on maps. Transportation records still list it. Schedules still show departures. According to official documents, the bus continues operating. Perhaps it always has. Perhaps every strange story can be explained by memory, coincidence, and imagination. Or perhaps there is a reason so many passengers remember the ride, but struggle to explain where it took them. Because the mystery was never whether the bus existed. The mystery was why nobody could agree on where it went.